Intelligent Cycle here, and normally, I try to say the song reactions in a little bit of my shorts, but I figured I wanted to get on here live and talk about this reaction to, of course, J. Cole. If you don't know, he dropped a birthday blizzard. Well, later on the night, yesterday, last night, he ended up dropping his four-track EP, birthday blizzard for 2026, and of course the voice narration, the moniker is from the classic, legendary DJ known architect DJ Clue, and he pretty much is the hype man and the engine oriented guy behind all of the hype for, of course, J. Cole preparing for his bars on here, man. And I wanted to just make a note of the records and everything. When so we pretty much start off with Bronx Zoo, or Brooklyn Zoo, excuse me, I call it, as pretty much it's been called. He pretty much is doing a sample over Biggie and Puff Daddy and the Family's track Victory, where he pretty much is highlighting everything from the times where he's getting questioned constantly by the media. He's getting constantly questioned by the media, constantly questioned by fans, not just his fans, but all the hip hop fans all across the world. And we started with lines where he delivers. Let me just get to Genius. Where he kind of just goes into detail about how people have been on the blogs, online, talking about how he took himself out of like Big Three conversation. He took himself out of the Big Three conversation, and fans pretty much noted him by taking himself out the conversation. He kind of goes into detail. He goes into detail talking about little ghetto fab. I'm a name Paul Kane. Somewhere a long way. Hate to say, but we lost Shane. You can turn up the track up a little bit more. Now the bread and butter is yapping and parlaying. I remember when it was rapping and ball playing, which pretty much people have kind of taken the blaze and taken the thought that he was kind of taking a shot majority of the time of he was taking a shot at Fat Joe, because Fat Joe and Jadakiss podcast, pretty much Fat Joe went around and pretty much said he didn't come outside. He didn't he come outside. He don't look at J. Cole the same, because he backed out of the battle. And a lot of people have made so many false narratives, false equivalencies on this man's name, basically saying how they don't look at him the same, like he's the top amongst the elite artists, and they look at him as a way of saying, yo, why'd you back out of the battle? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Well, how can you be an elite MC? How can you say this and that and claim that you hip hop, but you're straight up going at other artists? You're straight up going at other, musical entities and outlets and different podcasts and all these different things, but not understanding the fact that not only every artist does this in records and rap, but people gotta understand that J. Cole's been doing this since he came into the game, when he dropped the warm up back in 2009 and Friday Night Lights in 2010. Oh, Baguette 8444. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, like J. Cole's been doing this for the longest period of time. If you're just joining in, yes, I'm talking about the J. Cole birthday blizzard freestyle, and I'm going over the first track, Bronx Zoo, going over some of the lyrics, and then I'm giving you my thoughts as I'm going through them. So yeah, and then he pretty much goes into detail with this, where he says Mac deals for Luka Doncic lobbing the 8, and nowadays you can't make a grip commentating. Yeah, the mic is low now. Turn the mics up some more. You got two math skills, either dick riding or hating. Turn that itch all the way up. Just look around. The hating and the dick riding is blatant. Tell your mama the ticket to finally live out of her basement was found in one magical world. It's engagement, and nothing brings like that drama you might wanna. So personally, I don't write comments. I write commas with draws from pictures and pin draws to fall off. It's like they want Cole is the end all be all. So okay, J. Cole is pretty much going after a lot of different podcasters, a lot of different media outlets that pretty much have been slandering his name since he apologized in the Dreamville Festival, since he dropped the song Port Antonio, and since he dropped the record Clouds, and even before then, even on features, even on features, he's even bragging. People got mad because he was bragging about being the best rapper alive, or claiming he was the best rapper alive. Even Diss 2, Track 2, people was complaining about him saying that he was the best rapper alive, this and that, this and that. And I'm like, dude, why are you complaining about, you guys are complaining about J. Cole, who's making so many anointed points about how at one point in time he felt like he was on the same level as the best rapper alive. But you got to really think about it. Every other artist talks about this in certain different ways, but understand the fact that this is what MCs do. This is what rappers do. Rappers always been braggadocious for a long period of time. LL Cool J has made notice and made anointed statements of how he's the GOAT, how he's the greatest of all time. But you never got mad at him. KRS-One has made it anointed. He's the knowledgeable. He's the teacher. He's made it anointed in a lot of his different tracks. You know, MC Shan and going back to Big Daddy Kane as well. Like, all these guys have said in raps and rhymes and records, even going to the symphony, like, they've all said that they were claiming that they were the best at the time. So you don't get mad at them. You don't. That's the art form. That's the part of MCing. Jadakiss has said this before when he was going back and forth with Beans. You can't really tell who won between that battle, right? And Beanie Siegel, who I'm talking about. But you don't get mad at them because they kept it hip-hop, right? But you look at J. Cole, oh, he's not a quote-unquote moral street code. He don't have the kind of, people that's in the backing that's letting him know, like, yo, you don't need to really jump out the window and make a diss track, or whatever the case may be, right? And then you don't have people that's in your corner saying, yo, like, I don't think this is a good idea, I don't think this is a bad idea. So you're basically saying that he don't come from no street moral code. He don't come from that real hip hop moral code. Like, if you're in it, you gotta be in it. You can't step out. I just think that people are constantly bringing this up as a narrative to try to downplay a lot of these bars and a lot of these verses and a lot of these freestyles, that he's dropped since this came out. And I just don't understand why fans still hold that strong on him, because that was 2 years ago. People need to leave that alone. They need to let that go and leave it alone, because he's saying some real potent stuff. Now let's get to more of the track. So he goes into detail with this. He says, Boom walked out of the tomb like Matthew said what Jesus did. Within the whole game on his shoulders, no straighten to hold it. I can spin it round my fingers and bowl it. When I write, I'm like guided by the angels. I notice it's like a ghost of Christopher Wallace came in and wrote it. First name Jermaine is good. Never once in the fame and the motive, far from it. The best verse belongs to the end that should have lived in the Bronx Zoo. I stomped through on some King Kong-ish, long ding-dong-ish. Pause. I hate rappers. I hate these rappers like I'm Charleston White. I'm an authoritis to the authors. It's hard to write as the God does. Y'all tireless to me. Stop bothering me. Young Simba. Some niggas threw hate my way. The only thing they should say is, Cole, you like a father to me. The top ain't really what I thought it could be, so I jumped off and landed back at the bottom and restarted at the level where I wasn't regarded as just a kind black pass him and keep him up. I love it. So, okay. So he pretty much is talking about how people have been looking at him ever since him apologizing and back out of the battle. How people are looking at him in a sense where you're not at the top level of what the big three was encompassing of and wasn't capable of. and you pretty much have ducked the smoke. And people forget, oh, well, they say, oh, well, Drake never ducked the smoke in a battle. Drake never did this, never ducked the smoke in a battle. Pusha T had a big response to Drake when they did the whole Duppy freestyle, right? When he did the Duppy freestyle, and when he did, uh, yeah, I mean when Pusha T did Infrared and Drake did the Duppy freestyle, and then Pusha T did his record. Oh shoot, I just forgot the record. But anyway, I forgot the record, man. And the record just slipped my mind. Wow, it just really slipped my mind. Anyways, but like I said, with when Pusha T and Drake had their battle, and at the time when Pusha T dropped that late napalm bomb, and Drake did not respond whatsoever because he thought what he was saying was lies, and Drake and Pusha went too far going in on Noah 40. Oh my goodness, and I'm gonna freaking really forget this. All right, my bad. Sorry about that, guys. Story of Adidon. My goodness. Brain is kind of fried today because I was so enamored with other things. But yeah, Story of Adidon. So when Pusha T dropped Story of Adidon, pretty much the napalm bomb, and Drake never responded to that diss record, and because Drake was saying that Pusha T was telling lies, you know, um, about his image, about everything, and him exposing him hiding a child is pretty much what people focus on and paid attention to. And then when of course, you know, he did this try to do the same thing with Little Bro and Kendrick. Now people don't understand. And shout out to my guy Caleb from Twitter. Shout out to him, and then shout out to Damaris for actually from the new Maury and Mar podcast. For actually making sense in their videos and their commentary about what they've been saying. J. Cole has a different relationship. He has a different relationship with Kendrick Lamar than Drake has had a relationship as far as in the music business with Kendrick Lamar. He's had a different kind of relationship interacting with this guy, right? So why is anybody feeling that way? But I'll get into more breaking down these lyrics. So let me go into detail with that. So let me go and read some more. So truly, I'm aging backwards in sandboxes. I play with trappers and K-pops like Asian rappers. The bullets glaze the afros, piercing through front doors and left holes in baby mama's favorite bathrobe. Might wake up at 4 in the morning, start mowing a lawn, discover the snakes, pull up in your place, then going alone. Creep to your room, pour four in your dome. If your girl scream, tell the queen, lower your tone. As a matter of fact, go on your phone and add me on IG. It used to be top C. Apology dropped me out of way out of the top three, no problem. I'm best now. Now when they doubt me, watch me, watch me. So yeah, there we go. So now I was getting to saying the point. So J. Cole has a completely different relationship with Kendrick Lamar, and he pretty much looks at him like somebody like he would look at his own family, like he would look at his his cousin, his blood related cousin, and and when you look at somebody who you kind of like were cool with making music within the industry, like they was your actual friend, like they was somebody that you actually hang with that really cares about the music business, like they care, like you care in that sense, then yeah. And then especially when he fought P Diddy back in the day, when the whole Control verse came out and defended Kendrick in his honor. Now nobody didn't have a problem with that. Nobody didn't have an issue with one of the things that Cole did do, that Cole did to defend his friend and his so-called brother. Oh, Roy, what was going on? But yeah, he did that to defend his so-called friend and his so-called brother in the image. So now, when it's light and it's said and done, because like I said, it's a different kind of relationship because he looked at him as like his family, versus Drake, who has a completely different relationship where he tries to big up son him and little bro him in so many different ways, a completely different relationship and a more toxic one at the best. But now that's a problem. But those are the things that never been taken into account. And like I said earlier on in the lyrics, where he's pretty much talking about the dick riders and people that's parlaying, people that's that's all about the wrong, and it's all about trying to create false equivalencies and false narratives on his name and his image to try to put him and down in so many different areas and levels to smear him and to deny him is ridiculous. It's insane. And honestly, it's just such a bad way of looking at the game. But yeah, that was a really really solid freestyle, some really really potent lines and potent bars. Let's go to the next song, and that is Golden Goose. He says, now I'm on top and knock me out my spot. F y'all, so won't stop to the boat's cruise ship. Why? Till the whole world knows who got the gold acoustics. Only then I split and I co-produced it. A lot of rappers make dough, but they prone to lose it. For crumbs dumb in, so they sold to Lucian. Universal distribution, but I own the music. But the best nigga still breathing, leaving no confusion. Hop on every word song, abuse it. Catch bodies on my own amusement. Cheating and I won't excuse it. If I said it, I wrote it, stupid. I'm a star like logo on my shoes, but I ain't got no Converses. Nah, they are golden gooses. So yeah, he pretty much is calling out every artist he's calling out artists that pretty much have sell their soul and sell their image for honest dollars, and really to please these so-called record labels in order to market themselves and brand it themselves, but not giving back to the community, not giving back to the fans that brought the artists and the fans that brought them there, the people that brought them there to get to that limelight and that starting point, not paying back and not really owing back to the ones that really cared about this craft, right? So he's pretty much calling out every artist that really is like is not on that same wavelength, that's not really thinking of codependency, co-independency, is not really thinking about running their own thing, running their own businesses. They want to be slaves to these labels and really run under these slave masters, and not really owning your own back catalog, not really owning your own, publishing and reaching off of payola. He's pretty much calling those things out in these lines. I'm a star, logo on my shoes. Oh yeah, right there. A nice fella, but the foes is ruthless, and the culprit's 2-6. And the closest you hope you get is Hope Mills Road. Cole seen more behalf, mean more beef than folks at the root, Chris. Teach a man how to fish, and the lesson is, without a pole, you're useless. Catch my drift, I'm swift on my toes, you doofus. And this is why the shoesters. Can I kick it? And like they wrote for Q-Tip, sure, but just know, baby, we won't open doors for Cupid or leave windows cracked. You've been on that. They lack focus and they pores is putrid from the poison all different sorts they using. And if the stream say you're winning, why your tours is losing? When the math ain't mathing, but of course you're juicing. But that means the boss is boosting because the tough guy image is conducted to breathing. Don't gamble with your life because the ops is cruising. Word to Mike Vick, your dog might get shot for losing. So yeah, pretty much these lines, a lot of people are assuming that he's been talking about, and it might make a mention or a reference or a line that's kind of taking little pad jabs and pad shots towards Drake and the bots and the whole streaming and the whole streams are winning, but your tours is not there. Even though technically, really, Drake, it's all a blur tour was um, one of the highest selling rap tours for that year. I think it was in 2023, 24. So I don't even know if that would be the case. But then he said your streams say you're winning, but your tours is losing, which Drake on Spotify and I think on Apple Music is one of the most popular uh, artists on those streams. So I don't know. I don't know if he's kind of taking like past shots or when he says that means the bots is boosting. So pretty much it's saying no matter what, like if he's kind of coming out with his own solo record or he has to take a little shot at somebody, maybe that could be the case. Or he could be talking about a different artist that has a lot of bots that's usage in their records. A lot of people could be thinking that he could be taking shots at I don't know, uh maybe this could be reaching, but maybe like 21 Savage, I guess. I don't know. But it could be somebody in here that it could be somebody in here that could possibly believe it took it that way, but you never know. But I just think he was trying to put that as a line or as a reference to make it known that he understands and he's seeing and he's envisioning all of the BS that artists is not getting paid on their stream for their streams. I think he notices that in the record, but I don't know if these were necessarily shots at a particular artist. I just know that I think he was just calling out certain instances in the game that he's just witnessing that he just don't like. All right, so don't be silly. Want the chili similar to Usher Rain when he sang in the rain. Ain't no money bring respect to this game. Ain't a shame how them things interchange. And I pretty much think that's it for that one. All right, so I'll just talk about. Let me just do the Winter Storm freestyle because this is more of the freestyle that he did off of Who Shot You by Biggie. Uh, all right, so he says, "Hey yo, scrap everything I was working on prior to the day I decided to play. I got a brand new agenda. I'm trying to keep up with your boy Harley. I feel like Lori Harvey how I ran through the ends. I'm back for the winter, trying to outdo myself. No chain on my neck. I got a palatable wealth. I grew up in the heat of the South. You could melt. Cause the summer humidity enhances stupidity. Means that I'm humble, but I trust this humility from this witnessing violence and turn off utilities. I'm Mike Jordan and Antwers. Are you kidding me? Cole gets older, but the grows new abilities. You didn't know I'm zero with Goku ability, a Goku agility. Find peace with the audience you could appeal to. Be yourself. Live in your truth. Niggas, I feel you. Embrace hunger. Embrace hunger. Why don't you make stronger will kill you. This pain will build you. God will heal you. Don't make your moves off a dollar bill. But if not, it's fail proof. And as you said, following your heart that way, as long as you have faith, the path pays tenfold. Me, I choose rapping over class A tempos. But back when rappers were still trying to pass their demos to A&R reps, I was doubling Sally Mae, not paying our debts. Through the toughest alleyways, we would pray that our steps we were protected by the Lord because of what I witnessed. Had all my ends staying silent like it's none of our business. I'm in desperate need of commas like a run-on sentence, So pretty much he's paying a lot of homage to his paying a lot of homage to the back in the days of when things people was you know pushing their demos to A&Rs, pushing their demos to certain outlets, radio outlets, and really trying to get themselves caught up, really get themselves put on, locally. And he was kind of going back to those days and reminiscing of it. And he was just also talking about class A tempos, like how actually people was when producers would actually play and kicks and do things actually from their own, like their first like drum machine kicks that they got. So I think he's kind of like paying some homage with that to more like to producers and stuff. So that was a really good reference right there. I like the line where he basically says, you didn't know I'm Zeno with Goku agility." I thought that was dope. If you don't know, that was Dragon Ball Z reference. I thought that was really creative. I thought that was really fire. So that was a really good line that Cole did. Now let's get to the last song, and that is let me get to it. Which is probably my favorite one out of this whole EP, and that is 99 Build Freestyle. And I think this is the one where he did the Money, Power, Respect by the Locks. Here we go. He said, I orbit the earth whenever I'm recording a verse. When I'm ready to stop, steady, gonna report it first. Play my album for a corpse in the hearse. So I live the flow, gonna make the rigor mortis, the mortal reverse. These niggas reckless, try to disrespect the Lord of the church. Get disconnected from your source, just like a quarter of your birth. I'm on an alternate dimension. I'm inside. I got lost inside of this one. Now I'm walking around looking for a portal that works. But all of the perks of rhyming make it harder to search. A tormented poet, nah, you know I'm more than I'm worth. At the time, my neck and wrist is having so much ice, you think I'm getting dues deported to a bordering turf. Songbirds want to swallow my girth. I'm off the market. But life is truly a movie. God is the art department. Only way that y'all scribing is this way I'm rhyming. Is picture Jeffrey Dahmer walking on a carcass across the carpet. The Marshall Falk of the roster with the all-star offense. Outside of music, I'm cool as your water faucet. I stay to myself. I ain't talkative. You taught me not to have the heart to heart with a monster. They all too heartless. Man, I mean, this is just really just exponentially just elegant, but at the same time very potent rapping right here. You know, like I think he's pretty much describing just how good at the patterns of rhyming that he's doing, man. And I never thought that, like I said, he said, it's picture Jeffrey Dahmer walking a carcass across the carpet, the Marshall Falk on the roster with an all-star offense. That was just insane wordplay right there. And insane kind of just double entendres, like he flipping the ones back and forth and then comparing himself like, actual serial killer. But then at the same time, he's like looking at himself like an actual one of the greatest all-time great running backs, like Marshall Falk for the LA Rams, the greatest on turf. I fell back, my dog in heaven, pushing Hellcats, but tell you, from the beginning I wonder how could I dodge it. This beef ain't real, so it ain't the reason to squash it. The game ain't either, so it is easy for me to pause it. With one verse, I dissemble narratives. Your theories get killed. The murder weapon is superior kill. Selling drugs to your stereo sincerely. It feels like overdosing on a myriad of various pills. You're not alone. We experience ethereal thrills. Even when niggas burn in hell, when they hear me, you get chills. I'm like 99. I'm a 99 build. Uh, Pretty much is going to just pretty much is just you know pretty much boasting and killing all narratives with that one. The false ones about how he's not in these big three conversations, or he killed the big three conversation. Everything. He's pretty much talking about just his overall career. Uh, you know where he started from. He's just going over a lot of things that's pretty much on his mind, really. So why do I still grind like I'm trying to retire? My mind's out of the post office from St. John's to the league like I'm Mo Harkless. Unload the whole cartridge on foes who wholeheartedly oppose the chosen one. The rose and the golden sun in the morning they give light to even those that shun. Rage from the flows radiate the glow, melting snow in this frozen tundra. As the rap game that's been overcome with loads of marketing plans, basically randomly dissing and hating on the next man. I understand, imagine working as hard as you can on this album you plan, hoping it changes your brand, but as soon as you drop it, the world's ignoring again. Got you wondering why you're gonna start noticing the trend. Drama enhances the attention brought to the fans on popular channels, so you want to hop on the band wagon on the battle rapping, throwing shots in the jam. I had my chance and I dropped it, which means my only option is to do the opposite, lead with skill. If hip hop's back, Jizz should chart platinum. Anything less than that, that means y'all capping. The Fallout dropping 2.6. Stop asking. I want to thank God because I almost lost passion. Pretty much explains that the reason why the reason why he hadn't been dropping the last few years. You know how he's looking at guys and how pretty much the game looks at it as like basically randomly dissing and hating on the next man, hating on the next artist, and hating on the next rapper. From what we saw with Jordan Lucas and Skepta, like you can go and take that for any different randomly disses and randomly just hating on someone's shining career. You can take that and apply it to any other artist. He pretty much is saying you can take that and apply it to anyone. So, and then also he's looking at it from a standpoint of like why he did not come and really start promoting any of newer music at the time, besides the off season and Mike Delete later. Like he was promoting, of course, pushing his bars and coming up with different theories and creations of his art. And even with the creation of this album, which he was coming up with back in 2014 after Forest Hills Drive, he finally found that hunger and that passion which he had felt he had lost from at the time. So that was a great thing that he did, just addressing those things. And then he pretty much gives a shout out to Jid, why he thinks he should be at the top of the game, from the last few years. Then he makes a reference to, of course, the Knicks should have been hiring somebody like Mark Jackson. And then, of course, he highlights Mike Jordan getting back to NBC. And he talks about all the older cats getting broadcasting, getting to podcasting, getting bags from it. So, yeah, that's pretty much that, which is probably my favorite one because the way he was spitting, and that's just a classic. Locks, Money, Power, Respect is a classic record. Like I said, I love the way he was going in. I love the way he was really talking and stuff. And yeah, I thought this is definitely something that you should check out. It's probably one of the better things that came out in the middle of the week. I cannot wait for the fallout whenever it comes. It is gonna be something special, man. It's gonna be something special, and we're pretty much witnessing greatness at its finest. And the fact that people just want to go back to stuff that happened a long time ago, going back to things that happened a few years ago, and going back to his career and looking at, oh, you never really been a fan of him, and you pretty much reignite why you didn't become a fan of stuff like that happened a long time ago, albums and projects that you didn't like, that was a long time ago, but you want to resort to hate. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous. You got to get the brothers a chance. You got to really get the brothers what they want and what they want to hear. And I just don't think that people have been doing that and really giving them a fair shot. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on J. Cole's Birthday Blizzard Freestyles. Kind of breaking down the lyrics here and there. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down below. What do you think about these songs? Let me know down in the comment section. And also, give me your guys' favorite ones out of this whole 4-track EP. And are you excited for the fallout? And I will be covering that and be doing it on this page. In the format and a live stream similar to this. So, yeah. Be on the lookout for that. I'll also be on the lookout for a movie review because I will be doing that as well. We'll be coming out with that as well. So, yeah, that's definitely coming on the way. So, yeah, let me know down in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.